Is paging me at 526. Shout out to everybody who's been rocking with us here in the App Stupid Studios. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. Go back and check the other segments out, but while you're here, you might as well like and subscribe to the content and share it. We were talking some Georgia football and how Georgia, they keep their playoff chances alive, and they also keep the SEC championship game in play as well. Find out what we think about that. Then we talk some Florida State football. Mike Norvell, he fires wide receiver coaches, defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators. With 2 games left into the season, why we think that decision came from above and that had nothing to do with him. Then we talk some Colorado Buffaloes. Deion Sanders is now 8-2, tied for first in the Big 12. And if he gets to the championship game in the Big 12, he could be looking at a bye. They could be looking at a bye in the first round. Then we went back to the SEC to talk some Florida Gator football. If you're not Gator, you're Gator bait. Florida, they pull off the shocking upset, beating LSU down in Gainesville. Wow, total shocker. They have LSU this weekend. So that's one of those games all eyeballs will be on the set. And from there, we go right back to the Big 12. Kansas. We talking about Kansas. Kansas, they beat and dethroned BYU. Okay, throw out the fact that Kansas was 3-6 going into this game on the road. The Jayhawks are the 11th worst team in the Big 12. Sprinkle the road record in of 0-3, and this looks like a victory for BYU, except it wasn't. The BYU offense has been struggling and sputtering down the stretch of the season, and Saturday night was no different. Now, if you're a Cougar fan, it was hard to watch because they didn't do diddly dick in the first half of that game. In the first quarter of that game, I'm not going to hold you. BYU didn't do anything. Devin Neal, he gets that 8-yard touchdown run. And just like that, it's 7-0 Jayhawks. And the Cougars couldn't answer, putting up the 3 and outs. And number 1, to start the second quarter, the Cougars are still on the struggle bus. They're still on the struggle bus, but at least they got the 3 points on the board from Will Finnan. So now this thing is 7-3. And it looks promising. Or does it? Give me a quick 20 from an unofficial sponsor of the show so I can close this out. This is Big Vern. Drop the spot. Taco Bell, Live Moss. Order online, download the app, or visit the good folks at your local Taco Bell. Taco Bell, Live Moss. If you have the app, you can try the Big Cheez-It, you can try the Cantina Chicken menu, online exclusives, and the Cravings menu as well. If you go into that online exclusive, there's the Veggie Build Your Own Cravings box along with the Meal for Two and many more. Taco Bell, Live Moss. Yeah, shout out to Taco Bell. Make sure you get you some tacos tonight, Monday Night Football. There's also good college basketball games going on as well. And if none of that fits your fancy, you can always cut on wrestling. Wrestling's real. People are fake. Oh, man. So when we last left off, BYU, they was in striking distance at 7-3. Kansas puts up a pair of meaningless 3 and outs. Then Jake Razloff, he hits Hinckley Rapetire on the 38-yard pass And then the stadium, Lavelle Edwards Stadium, is rocking. This thing is now 10-7. Cougars, Kansas couldn't answer, putting up multiple 3-and-out trips. BYU did the same. However, with 1:46 before the half, the Jayhawks, they tied the score at 10-10 on a 25-yarder from Tabor Allen. So, off Allen's leg, they had this thing going. Now, keep in mind, Kansas is an 0-3 team on the road. They are an 0-3 team on the road. They have this thing knotted up. And after the half, you got to be thinking, if you're Coach Kalani Sate, stay aggressive, keep putting the Jayhawks behind the 8-ball, beat them up on the ground. And they were really moving it well with LJ Martin. He was having himself a game, 15 touches, 76 yards. And yes, let's do that. BYU couldn't capitalize on the momentum, which Will Finnan puts the Cougars ahead 13-10 after booting a 35-yarder. Now, anything within 40, that guy was magic. Okay, nothing to see here, right? Pack up the bus, get the beer all nice and cold, cue the smoking hot chicks, except Jalen Daniels and the Jayhawks, they didn't get the memo. Moving the ball deep into Cougar territory, Devin Neal gets the score on a 3-yard touchdown run. Now this thing is 17-3. And a stunned BYU faithful is just sitting there hoping for a miracle. They're hoping for a miracle to come. And it's pure bedlam in the Big 12 because no said miracle showed up. And so the one team that could legitimately make an argument saying, hey, look, we may get snubbed out of the college playoff, it's now up for grabs. Do I think that BYU is going to be in that conference championship? I don't know. But when we get back from promoting this rap album, we'll go ahead and take a look at how this thing is going to shake out. This is Big Vern. Drop the spot. It's your boy Big Vern coming to you live from the App Studio promoting another rap album, Young Roddy and Jamal, the company you keep, in stores now. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it be Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. My personal favorites on the track is Flu Game, Members Only, If You Know, You Know, and We Them Ones. Young Roddy and Jamal, in stores now, the company you keep. Yeah, shout out to Young Roddy. Jet Life, doing it well. So when we last left off, we were talking what's next for BYU. They have to play Arizona State. Arizona State's coming off an upset. They beat Kansas State. So who knows what that's going to look like. And then they have to go on the road to get that win off. And then they play Houston. They host Houston. But the offense, it doesn't matter where this game is being played. BYU looks like they're falling apart at the worst time down the stretch. And so if they run the table and they win these last two games, that would put them and Colorado in the Big 12 championship game. And the winner would get a bye. However, Colorado isn't ranked. Colorado isn't ranked right now. Now, one of the best records in college football. So I don't know how the committee is going to weigh whether they get in or whether they get out. Who knows? But what we do know is that we're going to be watching. We're going to be watching. We're going to see how this thing shakes out. Again, the Big 12 is now in a free fall because you're only going to get one team in. And that's going to be the conference champion. You could have made the case for two teams had BYU run the table, had they beat Kansas and finished strong. And then you had Dion and the Buffaloes. They could have finished strong as well and made it in. So that would increase your chances of winning the college football champ. Not saying that you could, But what I'm sitting here saying, it would increase your chances because you have multiple teams. We've already given you the scam up front. There are going to be 4 teams from the SEC to get into the college playoff. There's going to be 4 teams from the Big Ten that are going to get into the college playoff. There's 1 independent. They're going to take 1 from the Big 12, 1 from the ACC, and then you may get an at-large bid from somebody like Boise State. That's how this thing is going to shake out. Again, let me know how you feel. Well, that's the show. I love you all. Thank you all for tuning in and rocking with us. We'll be back on Wednesday. This your boy Big Vern at App Stupid. Peace.